watching Cron On, streaming now from Cron 4, the Bay Area's local news station.
Hello, I'm Sogomonian. Thank you so much for watching Cron On. The Oakland community is coming together to save a beloved Bay Area institution that's been bringing smiles to the faces of generations of families at Lake Merritt. The amusement park opened in 1950 and served as an inspiration for Disneyland. For about 60 years after that, because of the pandemic, Fairyland is now on the brink of closure. Federal money has run out and employees have been furloughed. Fortunately for Fairyland, there is some star power behind a move to keep the dream alive. Bay Area bred David Diggs and Rafael Casal joining us now. They're the minds behind the movie Blind Spotting, also filmed in Oakland, and Kimberly Miller, the executive director of the park. They're all here now ahead of an event this Saturday to save Fairyland. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thanks for having us.
So, I mean, who better to tell us what this place means to you than you guys? You've been here all your lives. You're still here, homegrown. So tell us a little bit about what Fairyland means to you.
I think when you talk to almost anybody from the East Bay, they have a memory of Fairyland. And there's a reason that it's so lasting. It is a place that is kid-focused, that encourages imagination in a particular way that you just don't get outside of places like that. And for those of us who didn't grow up with Disneyland money, we did grow up with Fairyland money. And I went to Fairyland all the time as a kid, and it was just a place where, you know, you could find yourself disappearing down the belly of a whale, or fighting off your friends on a pirate ship, or running through a dragon. These things that were totally magical, and then sitting in a theater and watching an incredible puppet show and learning things. It's this kind of place is foundational for a lot of us who would go on to become creatives, because it taught us how to stretch the limits of our imagination.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And not only is it accessible and kid-friendly, but it boosts the imagination, which of course gives way to art. And you guys have a lot of ties to art as well. So what were you thinking when you heard, I can't believe it, this place that I've been going to all my life as a child here is on the brink of closing?
Yeah, I saw a post that Fairyland had put up on Instagram that sort of alluded to that fact. And I think just the notion that Fairyland might not be there in the future was like an unacceptable version of the Bay Area to us. And so I reached out to Kim and just kind of said, is there anything that me and David can do? Because I really, you know, selfishly, like my niece is the perfect age for Fairyland, and she's never been. So I just wanted to make sure Fairyland was open for her in any way that we could contribute. So I didn't have to tell it to her as if it had become a fairy tale of Oakland that wasn't real anymore, right? So I love this idea that that we got to sort of come together and brainstorm ways to make sure Fairyland sticks around. And so Kim let us know it was about to be the 70th anniversary of the park. There was so much about the park that, like, I think we'd kind of heard about but didn't know that Walt Disney was, you know, largely influenced by the park, that folks at the Henson Company, like Frank Oz, had started at Fairyland, and like those things just really cemented for us not only the love for the park itself as a children's park, but also the stamp of sort of historical context that it gives the Bay Area. And so I think we just wanted to partner in any way that we could to raise some money, and so we all kind of bonded together, decided to create this event that is both an announcement about the 70th anniversary and a celebration, but also the beginning of this idea of the Fairyland's digital library, which is really about engaging like artists and athletes and local teachers and all kinds of folks to come together to contribute the reading of a story or the sharing of their art or a skill as a library for kids that lives online.
And it's really more than just fun. It contributes back to the health of the community to, you know, boost the kids' imaginations, give them a safe space to go and have it be local in a place like Oakland. Kim, I know a lot of people probably don't even know that this is a nonprofit. So what's it like to see the community rallying around you and your space to be able to keep it going?
It's everything. Partnering with Rafael and David to just sort of have this new idea come out of a 70-year-old park has really been a special time for us. You know, we've been a place-based physical business for 70 years, and for us through the pandemic, we've really shown our chops about how we can get online just like everyone else and hug up our community in a time of need. And this digital library is just one step into the future for us to help us realize that, and take steps to have, you know, a more equitable future for the park and for our for folks in Oakland and the greater Bay Area. So we're excited about these guys helping us take that first step in that direction.
How did you guys connect? Were you surprised when these two came up to you and were like, we want to be a part of this event on Saturday?
Surprised, yeah, shocked and surprised, but also just heartened, right? Like both of these guys have a lot of heart, and they love where they're from, and they understand what's important in the Bay, and you know, that shows their values. And to me, that was what really important.
I'd like to also stress this in the other direction. We were excited to be around Fairyland. Like, you know, as you grow up as kids, you know, in the Bay Area, and like, you know, the Fairyland key and like the mythology of Fairyland is so important to your upbringing that even, you know, I think there's an immediate excitement when we're on a Zoom call with the staff of Fairyland, with our folks, and just going like, all right, this is so cool. You sort of realize all of a sudden that Fairyland is run by a very small group of dedicated people that have had such a lasting impact on the imaginations of so many young people. And that was just really exciting for us, you know, just to have a personal connection with Fairyland again.
I mean, nobody could have predicted anything like this, of course. Just looking back a few months ago to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck indoors. And now most places, if they have the real estate to be outside, that's where people are encouraged to go. So it's also hard to believe a place like this, which we need right now, is on the brink of closure. So what can we look forward to on Saturday, and when can people come and join?
Go ahead, Rafa. You take it.
I'll say we have an amazing event planned on Saturday. There's going to be puppets. We have all kinds of folks coming in to share stories. We have folks like Kamala Harris is going to be there, all the way to like folks like Boots Riley is going to be there. Like, we have such a great lineup of arts to bring in sort of the enthusiasm around Fairyland to a focal point to make sure that they stay around for a long time. And really, it's also the beginning or the broader explanation of what this digital library is going to be, right, so that we know what the Fairyland is going to be for the rest of this sort of pandemic period, where we're living exclusively online. And it's also something that's just going to live and breathe sort of, you know, in perpetuity, and people can keep adding to it, and we keep bringing more folks in. So it's an invitation. It's obviously a call for fundraising for the park in the you know, in the immediate future. And lastly, it's a bit of a reminder to the community that like Fairyland is always in flux and is trying to encourage and incorporate new kinds of fairy tales all the time. And so it is this call out to the community going, hey, let's bring more fairy tales in. What are more kinds of stories we can tell? How can the park continue to respond to the times? And let's do that in this big celebration and in the premiere of this library.
And we're definitely desperately in need of that kind of joy right now. David, can you tell me a little bit about when you were growing up, some of your memories that you would share, and how crazy is it that right now, you know, you relied on it as a kid, but it's relying on you for help?
Yeah, the memory stuff. I mean, look, David and I'll be here all day telling you stories about Fairyland. Like, you know, every little. The thing is, like, things like the Jolly Trolley and these things were they were big to us as kids. So now we're like, oh my God. I thought the park was like miles long. Yeah. No, like, oh, it's just this. Yeah. You know, but I think we have so much nostalgia about the place, and I think what David and I always talk about is how important it is to pay it forward and back, right? Like, we have to, if we want to have anything like that for other generations of Bay kids, like the onus is, it's always on the adults who cherish a place to like throw the love back to it.
Like you said, it's a nonprofit, and it's run by very few people, and it's been keeping this up for so long, and it's one of these things that you take for granted often. You know, sometimes when you look back at your childhood, there's stuff where you didn't understand the mechanics of it, but they were really important to you, and this is one of those things. And you know, with the sorry.
It's all good. Let's toss it to Kim while you take that call. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
With the, you know, I think across the board, when we look at sort of how this country has responded to the pandemic, we cannot rely on any kind of top-down leadership to get any of us through this, right? That was made abundantly clear immediately. So the things that are important to us, we're going to have to champion ourselves. And this is one of those things where, you know, we were able to look at a situation as a community. And I think what we saw from the outpouring of love from folks we asked to come do anything for this fundraiser was that this is one of those things that we could identify as a community and say, this is important to us, let's take care of it. And the reality of the situation is it's not that difficult to do. I think all we have to do is decide that we want to do that and then donate what we can and also continue to spread the word about it. So that's the hype for tomorrow.
Super exciting. And Kim, before I let you guys go, if you can explain how people can contribute once they show up tomorrow.
Yeah, so hop on our website at fairyland.org, register for the event through the link provided there. And once you register, you can donate at the same time. And we look forward to seeing you at 6:30 tomorrow night.
Fantastic. And is there a goal amount here? How much do you realistically need to keep Fairyland alive?
Yeah, our goal for tomorrow night is $300,000.
Wow. Okay.
$300,000.
You know
But
what?
this is the
It
Bay
sounds
Area.
like
We
have the
could
backing
top
for
that.
But we
You
could do
know.
better.
Right,
We could do
right.
better.
Let's do it. Let's exceed that goal. Well, thank you so much to Kimberly with Fairyland, as well as David Diggs and Rafael Casal, locals who are banding together to keep that spirit alive in the heart of Oakland. We very much need it right now. So thank you for all your hard work and look forward to tomorrow.
Thank you
so much.
So do we. Let's do it.
All right, so for all you guys who just heard, there's going to be a fundraiser happening at Fairyland at Lake Merritt in Oakland to keep it alive. It's happening tomorrow, that's Saturday, the 26th at 6:30 p.m. Hopefully whoever can make it out can contribute. If not, you heard you can go to their website and donate because they have a big goal there, but it should be doable because we have the spirit here in the Bay Area. All right, you're watching Chron On, streaming Bay Area News 24/7.